says that we are now live. This is sunset lighting that we got right here. We got the sunset lighting going on. The sun is about, how far is the sun from going down? The sun is about an hour away from going down. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday out here. Y'all know what we about to talk about right now. As y'all check in, I'm about to lay this all out for y'all, okay? I'm gonna lay this all out for y'all. I'm gonna make it real clear for y'all. I'm gonna tell you that this is not my, what I'm about to talk about right now, this is not my endorsement. I'm just telling y'all what the fuck is going on. I'm just telling y'all what it is. So you ain't gotta like it. You ain't gotta agree with it, but you will understand it. I am gonna tell you that right now. So I'm gonna tell y'all what it is in one moment. I'm gonna give everybody like 30 seconds to come in here. Whoever's gonna come in and whoever's gonna leave can leave. Whoever's gonna block me, you can block me. Whoever's gonna unfollow me, you can unfollow me. But we are going to address this. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly why Donald Trump's gonna win this 2020 election. We are what? It's August, so that's what's that? September, October, November. So we about what? 10 weeks away, roughly. We about 10 weeks away from the election. What's the date? The 16th? Yeah, almost exactly 10 weeks away from the 2020 election. I know all y'all gonna go out there and vote. And listen, let me be clear. This is not an endorsement of either candidate. This is not my hope for what's going to happen. I personally don't really like either one of these candidates. Personally, I might not even vote because for me to vote is going to require my time, attention, and energy. And I don't think either one of these guys, these two main candidates, is worthy of my time, attention, and energy. And frankly, as I said, I've been saying this since way back. For those of you who don't know, way back when Obama was president, I've been saying this, that whoever the president is has no effect on what I'm doing. They don't stop me or encourage me to write my next book or create my next course or record my masterclass or make a video on YouTube or do these lives. It really does not personally affect me. Now, I know any of you who's really into politics, you can come up with many arguments and draw the line from who the president is and what they decide and who they bring to the Supreme Court, how that affects me personally. But I really don't give a damn. I talked about this on my story last week. I really don't care who the president is. I didn't care when Obama was president. I can't name you one thing Obama did that personally affected me. Not one thing. Now, Obama, it was cool to see him. I voted for him. I wanted to see a black guy become president. That's why I voted for him. I did not know his policies. I did not know who he was electing, bringing into his cabinet and who he appointed. I don't know about none of that stuff. I know he brought Sotomayor into the Supreme Court. And I know he had Hillary as Secretary of State. That's all I know. And I know Joe Biden. That's all I know. But anyway, I will answer all the questions at the end of this. First of all, let me introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, former 9-year professional athlete, author of 27 books. Yes, you heard me right, 27 books. I've created over 15,000 pieces of content over the last 15 years online. I've been online for a minute. I'm an OG in this internet game. I'm never washed, but I'm not new. And this whole philosophy, work on your game, is all about taking the mentality of the pro athlete and applying it to business, sports, and life, specifically the aspects of the pro athlete, not just the random stuff you hear all these other people, these trainers and coaches and hangers on talking about when they talk about the mindset of athletes, because most of them is corny and most of them watch the game from the sideline. I'm talking about actually being on the court or on the field, actually living it, not being the trainer, not the coach, not the hanger on, not the entourage member, but the person who's actually out there doing it. That's me. That's what I talk about. And I give you the real conversation here. I tell you the things not that you want to hear, but I tell you the things you need to hear. And right now, some of you are about to get, what was it in the movie? It was the red pill, right? In the Matrix, the red pill was the one that tells you everything, even though you might not want to hear it. That's what you're about to get right now. I'm about to tell you some things that you need to hear about what's coming up in this 2020 election. Now, everything I'm saying here is assuming that things stay as they are. That means as long as Joe Biden doesn't die, as long as Trump doesn't die, as long as nobody drops out of the election, as long as Kanye doesn't replace somebody or none of that. Assuming that we get on election day is Trump versus Biden, which is pretty much what it is right now. I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why Donald Trump's gonna win, okay? Now on my story earlier today, I posted the story poll. Who would you vote for if the election was today? Biden or Trump? There's only 2 people. And right now, the last time I checked, it was like 52% Biden, 48% Trump, which is like the election usually comes out something close like that. And then I was at a restaurant today in Coral Gables, Coral Way, and I asked the waitress, who would you vote for? And she was like, well, not Donald Trump. And then I asked, there was another guy who came by to like refill the water. I asked him who would he vote for? And he said, I guess Donald Trump. And then I asked the hostess, she came by and asked her who she would vote for. And she talked to us for like, how long did she talk to us? About 25, 30 minutes? Yeah, she talked to us about 30 minutes about all these things that she thought. We opened the floodgates with her. She was talking about it. And she didn't even commit to either candidate, but she just had a lot to say about this whole topic. And she had a lot on her mind. I told her she should start a podcast. I actually did tell her that. So hopefully she starts it. But anyway, all that being said, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why Donald Trump is going to win the 2020 election. And I posted this on my story. Y'all watched my story from earlier today. I wrote an article in December of last year why Trump was going to win in 2020, in December of last year. The article is on my story today. So y'all know I did not just come up with this just now. I have no horse in a political race, no dog in a political race. I'm not Democrat. I am not Republican. I don't care about none of these individuals. I'm really focused on my business. But anyway, all that being said, because I know a lot of y'all care and a lot of y'all been watching this, a lot of this wokeness that's been going on and a lot of this, the MAGA stuff been going on and all this back and forth that people get all worked up and excited about. But then you ask those same people, name one thing any president has done that's directly affected your life. You've been alive 47 years and they can't answer one thing, but they get so excited about the presidential election every 4 years. I do not understand that, but who cares? We ain't got time to be worrying about that. Let's focus on this. Number one reason why Donald Trump is going to win the 2020 election is because Joe Biden has no fans. Joe Biden is not going to win the 2020 election because he does not have any fans. Joe Biden does not have a fan base. Nobody is excited about Joe Biden. Nobody cares about Joe Biden. Nobody actually wants Joe Biden to be the president. Every person that I ask, who would you vote for the 2020 election? When I'm talking about like the never Trumper individuals, like the woke individuals, the Black Lives Matter, fists in the air individuals, the hashtagging people, the kneeling before the game individuals, those people who are all on that side, I say, who would you vote for the 2020 election? All of them give the same answer. Not Donald Trump. That's the answer that they say. Well, I'm not voting for our current president. I'm not voting for Donald Trump. Anybody other than Donald Trump. And that's cool. I'm not mad at them. If you don't want to vote for Trump, you ain't got to. That's why we have elections, right? So you don't have to vote for Donald Trump. Here's the problem when people give that answer. Here's the thing that I hear whenever somebody says, whoever I'm voting for, I'm not voting for Donald Trump, is this. They're not saying that they want to vote for Joe Biden, meaning nobody actually likes Joe Biden. Y'all see the movie Rush Hour? When Jackie Chan was talking to Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan was like, and Chris Tucker was like, man, that guy don't like you. He don't like you. And Jackie Chan was like, forget about that. I'm here for the girl. And Chris Tucker was like, the girl don't like you. Nobody likes you. That's Joe Biden. All right. Nobody likes Joe Biden. No, he has no fans. I haven't heard one person say, I'm going to vote for Joe Biden in the November election because nobody cares about Joe. If it would have been Bernie, listen, Bernie Sanders had fans. Andrew Yang had fans. Even Marianne Williamson had fans. Hillary Clinton had fans. Kamala Harris, being a black woman, she would have had fans. There's some black people that didn't like her because she used to be a district attorney and her job was to put people in prison, which she did. She was doing her job. So people are holding that against her. But she still had fans because she would have been a black woman. Joe Biden ain't got fans for any reason. The only thing Joe Biden got going for him is that he stood next to Barack Obama for 8 years. That's all he did. Joe Biden didn't do nothing else. Only other thing, he's a lifetime politician, but again, the stuff he was doing is only coming up now so people can use it against him. Nobody was paying no attention to him except people who are really into politics. Dude has no kind of audience. And here's the problem with that. And here's what I wrote about in my article in December of 2019. To win an election, you need to get people excited about you. You need people to be like, yo, I want him or her to win so that they can go and vote for you. Elections, ladies and gentlemen, are nothing but popularity contests. That's all they are. An election is a popularity contest. 99% of voting Americans, I'm talking about the people who are actually going to go vote on election day, which might not be me, but the people who are actually going to go vote on election day, 99% of them do not know about policies. They are not reading bills that get passed in the Senate. They don't know any of the details of what's going on in any kind of foreign policy or none of that. Most of you are fitting into that category. You are voting for the person that you like. That's all politics is. You get people to like you, and then you compel them to go to the booth on election day and vote for you, or go to the mail. Maybe this year they're going to have mail-in ballots, and they can go vote for you. That's all an election is. When I was in high school, I'll tell y'all how I came up with this, and I wrote about this in an article I posted in December. We were having an election. I know when you're in high school, every school, you have the elections, like for class president, class treasurer, and all that stuff. And we were doing an election. It was like my junior year. And we had to go right on the ballot and then pass it to the front of the room, and then they count up all the ballots. And the girl who was collecting the ballots, the teacher was like, hey, you girl, Kristen, collect all the ballots. So she's collecting the ballots, and she just made this offhand comment. She said, this ain't nothing but a popularity contest, that's all. And I was like, that's all it was. It ain't the president of our high school president was not the most qualified person or the smartest person or the best leader or any of that shit. The person who won class president was the most popular person who ran for president. Whoever the most popular one was going to win. So if somebody wanted to run for president, but you weren't popular amongst the student body, you probably wouldn't even run for president because you didn't want to get embarrassed knowing that you wouldn't win because you weren't popular. You wouldn't even try. And all of y'all went to school, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A presidential election is no different than the election in elementary school or in high school or being the homecoming queen or the prom king or any of that shit. Is just the most popular person. That's all it is. And what does that have to do with this year's election? You might not like Donald Trump. Some of y'all hate Donald Trump. Some of y'all are like, I would vote for anybody other than Donald Trump. Some of y'all vote for Kanye West over Donald Trump. Here's the thing though. Donald Trump has fucking fans. All right, Joe Biden ain't got no fans. Donald Trump got fans. Even if you hate Donald Trump, even if you don't like Trump, even if you think he has no morals, even if you think he's blowing the racist dog whistle, even if you think, fill in the blank. Y'all know the shit y'all be saying about Donald Trump or whoever y'all be following, where they be saying about Donald Trump. What, LeBron called him a bum? Yeah, you think he's a bum like LeBron James said? Listen, Donald Trump got fans. That man has a fan base. All that Make America Great Again, MAGA. Does he have fans? All right. Even if you hate him, can you agree that that man got fans? He got a fan base. If Donald Trump was a rapper, he'd be Drake. All right. He'd be selling more records than Drake if he was a rapper right now. He's that popular. He got a whole base of people who fuck with him, who will ride out for him. They go and march for him. They fighting Antifa people for him. They going against Black Lives Matter for him. They will go to the polls and vote for him. We already know this. All right. Even though people said, I remember in 2016, Hillary actually, in the popular vote, Hillary had more votes than Trump. I think it was 53 million to 50 million. And it's 300 million Americans. So only a third of people even voted in that election. She had popular votes, more votes than Donald Trump. But 50 million people went and voted for this dude, Donald Trump. After all the stuff he was saying and doing leading up to that 2016 election, he got 50 million people. That's damn near half of the country who actually voted to go vote for him. That is fans. You got to get people excited to get them to go vote. All right, people don't have to vote. That's the thing. Voting is an expense, not a money expense, but a time expense. You got to go to the place. You got to stand in line. You got to bring your ID or fill out some forms. And now this year with the COVID, now you got to put on a mask, and you might be worried because a lot of people, or now maybe filling a ballot on paper and it might be confusing. Then you got to put a stamp on it. And who knows what the process is going to be. It takes time though. Everybody can admit it takes time to go vote. Why exercise the right to vote? You know, black people be like, yeah, black people fought long and hard for the right to vote. We got to go vote. Who we voting for? Donald Trump got fans. Joe Biden ain't got none. And the problem with that is all of Donald Trump's fans on election day, they're going to go vote. And there are many reasons why. And I'm going to get to that when I get to points 2 and 3. So number one point, why Trump is going to win in 2020 is that he actually has fans. There's nobody listening to me right now who is a fan of Joe Biden. You might be voting for Joe Biden, but you're not a fan of Joe Biden. Everybody who's talked about him says, everybody who I talk to who doesn't like Trump, they say something like, well, as long as Trump doesn't win, as long as we get Trump out of there, as long as it's not Trump. The NBA right now, they're doing this voting and it's everybody go vote. Rappers are like, yeah, everybody go vote. They're not saying who to vote for, but we all know exactly what they're doing. The same way that people say, well, Donald Trump was blowing the dog whistle for racist white people with the stuff that he was saying. He never said anything directly racist, but he would say indirect stuff. And people say, oh, well, he's being racist, but he can't say it directly, so he's being indirect. The same thing NBA is doing. That's the same thing your favorite rappers and athletes are doing now. Telling everybody to go vote because they want you to go vote for whoever's not Donald Trump so they can get Donald Trump out. They're doing the exact same thing, but nobody's calling it that. The problem with that is ain't nobody to get excited about. When Obama was running, what did people say? Vote for Obama. They put Obama's picture up. People was making songs about Obama. You had rappers going to Obama rallies. You had Obama. He was doing all kinds of stuff. He was coming out to rap music at his joints. What's Joe Biden doing? Who cool with Joe Biden? Nobody. You seen LeBron James say Joe Biden's name? Jay-Z saying his name? Beyonce make a song about him? No, because they don't like the dude. And that is a problem because nobody is going to be excited to go vote for him on election day. Most of the people who voted for Obama in 2008 and in 2012 did not vote in 2016 when Hillary needed to beat Donald Trump. That's why Trump won. Most of Obama's voters did not vote the day that Trump beat Hillary. They didn't vote at all. It's not like they switched them with the Trump. They just didn't show up because they weren't excited about Hillary. And Hillary was a female. She was connected to Bill Clinton. In other words, she had more clout than fucking Joe Biden has. How the hell you think anybody gonna show up for Joe Biden? They're not. That's a trick question. Point number 2. What I'm talking about here is why Donald Trump is going to win the 2020 election. I'm predicting this 10 weeks in advance. Number 2 reason why he's going to win is because it kind of piggybacks on what I said in point number 1. People's argument for voting for Joe Biden. Joe Biden's argument for voting for Joe Biden is what he said on The Breakfast Club. For those of you who know, The Breakfast Club is a popular radio show that is very popular in the hip hop culture, youth culture. He said, if you got to decide between me and Donald Trump, you ain't black. Now, here's the problem with making that statement. That's kind of a tongue-in-cheek statement. It could be funny. The problem is Joe Biden is an old white man telling a bunch of black people, the demographic of The Breakfast Club that listen to The Breakfast Club are a bunch of black people. He said, if you got to decide between me, old white man, and Donald Trump, old white man, you ain't black. So here's an old white man telling a whole bunch of young black people what defines their blackness is choosing him. All right, that was a very bad idea by Joe Biden. He probably thought he could get away with it because he would get votes anyway. And in part, he is partly right, but in part he is wrong because this is Joe Biden's campaign. His whole campaign sales pitch is I'm not Donald Trump. That's his whole pitch. The problem with that pitch is that is not going to move the voters who are on the fence. And when I say the fence, I don't mean they're on the fence between should I vote for Trump or should I vote for Biden. They're on the fence of should I vote at all and should I not vote at all. He has those people like, yo, I'm not even going to go vote because this guy is nothing about him that's compelling. And that's a problem. See, you got to get people to show up. Joe Biden's whole campaign is based on, well, hey, I'm not Donald Trump, everybody. Isn't that good enough? No, that is not good enough, Joe Biden. You got to come up with something else. Now, he picked Kamala Harris, who is a black woman. She would be the first female vice president and the first black vice president. And I know there's a whole lot of stuff about whether she's actually black and all that stuff. But let's just assume that she's black, okay? Let's assume she's black. All right, if we could assume Sean King is black, we could definitely say Kamala Harris is black, okay? And that's a different conversation for a different day. But anyway, Joe Biden's whole campaign is based on, well, I'm not Trump. The thing is, so what? Like, Trump has fans. A Trump person who's on the fence is showing up because Trump's going to get them to show up. He draws an audience. Joe Biden can't draw an audience. And if your whole campaign is based on, well, hey, I'm just not the other guy, there's going to be some votes that you come up short on. And the places that he needs to win, namely Florida, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, all the swing states, quote unquote swing states, I don't see him winning those states. I just don't see it happening. Unless something major happens between now and election day, I just don't see him drawing enough voters out where it matters for him to actually win that election. That's the second point. Here's the third point, and this is a really important point. It's the third point here. What I'm talking about here is why Trump's going to win the 2020 election. The mainstream media, y'all know who the mainstream media is. Social media is part of the mainstream media nowadays. So this includes social media, CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post, all your favorite woke journalists, media personalities, sports leagues, athletes, entertainers, all these woke individuals. Here's what they did wrong. They didn't mean to do this, but this is what they did. In 2016, let me say what they did, then I'll explain it. They have gone so far in trying to go against Trump that they are actually creating a blowback reaction. They're creating an equal and opposite reaction of Trump fans now doubling down on Trump because they tried so hard to make him look bad that they kind of have gone too far. That's what the mainstream media has done over the last 4 years. Let me tell you what happened. Y'all been alive. You've been alive for the last 4 years. You know what happened. In the 2015, Trump announced he's running for president, right? So they had a whole campaign. He wins the Republican ticket. Then he goes against Hillary, comes up to the 2016 election. I remember like the month before the election, 2016, the mainstream media was going so hard against Trump because at first, when he first started running, people was like, oh, Trump ain't going to win. He's a joke. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't got a chance. Around this time in 2016, it started to look like he might have a little bit of a chance, but people were still laughing at him. All right, he's going to run. He's going to get his ass kicked on election day. He's going to go write a book about it and go back to doing his reality show. Trump's a clown, forget him. But then by about September, October, it started to look like this might actually be competitive. then that's when the mainstream media started going hard. What they started doing was writing all these articles and putting out all this propaganda, media propaganda about how if Trump wins, y'all remember this, if Trump wins, he's going to be like Hitler, right? It's going to be like, he's going to do the Holocaust for people of color and for LGBT community and for women. The world is going to be all about white men. That's what's going to happen if Trump wins. That's what people said. Now, it's been 4 years, people. That's what people said. If Trump wins, he's going to be like Adolf Hitler. They're going to bring back slavery. They're going to roll back all the gains for the LGBTQ community. They're going to roll back all the civil rights gains for black people if Trump wins. We can't let Trump win. They're going to bring it back to the Jim Crow days and all this stuff. And there were famous entertainers posting stuff from back in the 50s and 60s when black people were being disrespected. They were like, yeah, we can't let Trump win, y'all. You got to go vote. We can't let this come back. And it's people who I like. I'm not even going to say their names because y'all know who they are. They were posting this. I'm like, why are they posting it? Why are they doing this? It was a whole lot of fear campaigning just to keep Trump from winning. And this is what they said when he actually won. They said, we're going to be better than Trump. Trump won the election, but you know what? We're going to be better than him. When he goes to the low road, we're going to take the high road. When he attacks people personally, we're going to hold our heads up high with dignity. When he's doing all this negative stuff and negative campaigning, we're going to be positive. We're going to be the exact opposite of Donald Trump. We are going to be the resistance. We're going to resist everything that Donald Trump does. That's what they said in 2016 when he won the election. He won it in November. He didn't actually get sworn in until January. So for that 3 months or 2 months, December, January, about 10 weeks, that we're going to resist Donald Trump. We're going to go, everything he does, we're going to do the opposite, right? Ain't that what people said? We're going to be the opposite of Donald Trump. We're going to be the anti-Donald Trump in 2016. It's 2020, everybody. What happened? What happened? The mainstream media said we're not going to do anything Trump does. Whatever he does, we're going to do the opposite. It's 2020. What are they doing now? Now, they take everything Trump did. They took his whole fucking playbook, and now they're doing the exact same thing. Now the mainstream media is doing way more canceling than Donald Trump's doing. Now you can't get canceled by the MAGA crowd can't cancel you. Who you get canceled by? You get canceled by CNN. You get canceled by the left. You get canceled by gay people. You get canceled by women. You get canceled by woke white people. You get canceled by social media. You get canceled on Twitter. You get canceled on Instagram. Who's doing all the canceling now? The left is canceling everybody. The same people that said Donald Trump was going to do this, this, and this to destroy America, they're doing it now. The same stuff he was doing, they doing it. They took his whole playbook and they made it their playbook. And here's the problem with that. And I'm not even saying that it's right or wrong. This is just what's happening. Here's the problem with it though. The problem with it is all of that pushback of trying to go against Trump. They tried so hard to make him look bad. Everything he does or says, there are people I follow on social media. I follow people who are like Trump supporters. I follow people who are supporters of Trump. I follow people who are super anti-Trump. Everything he says, they got some kind of sarcastic comment to say it. I follow a few people on either end of the far ends of the spectrum. And one of the things is some of them try so hard to make him look bad. Everything he says, they got some kind of comment. Everything he does, they find a way to put a negative spin on it. Everything that comes out negative about him, they amplify it. The problem is no human being is all terrible and no human being is all perfect. So when you try to make somebody look all terrible and that person has fans, that person has supporters, that person has a base of people who really fuck with them, those people are going to start noticing and they're going to start pushing back. Tony Robbins talks about this, that if you walk up to another person and you push them, they're going to stiffen up and they're going to resist you pushing them, because if they just let you push them, they're going to fall over and just keep walking backwards. But if they don't push at all, you have nothing to push against. And the thing is, the Trump base, the MAGA base, is noticing all of this stuff that Trump has been saying from the beginning. In 2016, Trump was like, it's so unfair what the mainstream media is doing to me. They're trying to witch hunt me. They're trying to make me look bad. They're attacking me at every turn. And when I remember when he used to say that in 2016, I was like, maybe he's just saying that. Maybe he's just campaigning. He's just trying to hype up his base. It's just Donald Trump being Donald Trump. But now it's been 4 years. And now I'm like, you know what? He was actually right. They are actually doing it. And again, I am not on either side of this. I am not woke. I am not BLM. I am not MAGA. I am not Democrat. I am not Republican. I'm not on either side of this conversation. I'm just looking at it and I'm like, all right, all the stuff he was saying in 2016 is actually true now. I don't know if it was true then, but it's definitely true now. They have tried so hard to make this man look bad. At every turn, everything he does, people have something negative to say about it, to the point that his audience is like, okay, now y'all just going too far. Y'all sounding ridiculous now. Now, you know what? Now we're going to double down in supporting this guy. So what's going to happen on November, whatever day that election is, whatever day, let me see what day the 2020 election, November 3rd, 2020, all the Trump fans coming out. If it's mail-in voting, all of them are voting. All right, all the Trump fans will show up on November 3rd. Now, the Biden fans, are they going to show up? Well, that's a trick question because Biden ain't got no fans. All right, the Trump anti-fans, some of you are going to vote. Many of you ain't going to vote because you ain't a fan of Biden, and you're not going to be compelled to go do anything for him. And all that energy that the mainstream media has created to try to be against Trump, all of this stuff, the NBA, the WNBA, all the entertainment, all Hollywood, all the LGBTQ community, all the Antifa, all the mainstream media, all of social media has tried so hard to make this dude look bad. His crowd, they're going to close quarters. They're going to get their shit together, and they're going to come back. They did this in 2016. Y'all saw that. We have seen this movie before, and Hillary was a stronger candidate than Joe Biden is. We've seen this movie before, and if Joe Biden drops out and it's Kamala Harris, here's the problem with Kamala Harris. She was running for president, for those of you who don't remember. She was running against Joe Biden, and she was getting her ass kicked. Her campaign was trash. It was falling to shit, and she dropped out of the campaign. She lost to Joe Biden. Now she's going to go work for Joe Biden. So people think, oh, Joe Biden drops out and Kamala runs, she would be stronger than Joe Biden. I don't think so. And because she's a black woman on the ticket, maybe that could be something. The problem is there's a lot of black people who don't like Kamala because, again, her job was putting people in jail for, that was her job. She was district attorney. She was a state's attorney. She's supposed to put people in jail. She's a prosecutor. But anyway, this is, again, people don't need to know all the details. People go off of who they like. If you had to do a popularity contest between Joe Biden and Donald Trump today, Joe Biden is that's not even a competition. All right, that's like fucking Shaquille O'Neal against Muggsy Bogues. All right, that's not a competition. Joe Biden has no audience, no fans. That's the number one reason why he's not going to win. Number two reason is his only campaign is that I'm not Donald Trump. That is a problem because you can't get people to come to the polls to say, all right, I'm not going to vote for Donald Trump. So whoever the other guy is, I'm going to vote for him. That does not work. It's never worked before. It's not going to work this time. And people say, oh, Kamala Harris could be the person. No, Kamala Harris is not strong enough. She couldn't even beat Joe Biden. How's she going to beat Donald Trump? She doesn't have any fans either. Neither one of them have any fans whatsoever. And elections are popularity contests. And number three, I'm going to take questions after this. Number three reason why the mainstream media has tried so hard to polarize America against Donald Trump successfully. They have succeeded at this. The mainstream media has so many people so anti-Trump that all the pro-Trump people are now about to get together. They're going to make sure everybody is armed and ready to go, metaphorically speaking, of course. And they're going to come out in droves, and they're going to make sure they support Donald Trump for this election because of the way that people are coming after them. So, all that being said, I'm going to take any questions anybody got. If you got questions or comments, I'm going to take them right now. Before I do that, I'll tell you right here, this book right here, The Mirror of Motivation, The Self-Guide to Self-Discipline. This book is designed not to tell you to vote for Biden or Trump or Harris or nobody else. This book is about you looking in the mirror. You see, that's why it's called The Mirror of Motivation. The Mirror of Motivation is about you looking in the mirror so you can change who you're being as a person, so you can start doing what you need to do to get the results that you want to get, regardless of who the president is. All right, whoever is in the White House or any other house that ain't your house is not affecting directly what is happening in your life. You need to focus on what you need to do. That's why this book is called The Mirror of Motivation. All right, not the White House of motivation, not the Instagram of motivation, The Mirror of Motivation. This book is free. I've already paid for the book. All you got to do is cover the shipping. Go to mirrorofmotivation.com. The link is right down below on Facebook and on Instagram, mirrorofmotivation.com. Now let me take questions because I know we got some comments in here that I'm going to get through. Let's see. Coffee the Great was good. Estonia and Russia is in the house. N1K was good. Mozart said people are going to tune in for this one. Why Trump's going to win? Well, he is going to win unless something changes. And John Pierre said that's what capitalism does. It helps you do all those actions to support yourself. Exactly. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of it. Safe Boy said he gave us free Obama phones. I don't even know what an Obama phone is. What is that? I never heard of the Obama phone. Mozart said his sales mouthpiece is too nice. Donald Trump is a salesperson, and elections are sales. Popularity contests is a long sales presentation. And Donald Trump has been popular for a very long time. For those of y'all old enough to remember, before he got into politics, rappers were shouting out Donald Trump more than they were shouting out anybody. Donald Trump was getting mad shout-outs from black rappers a lot when he was just a media guy because they liked his swagger. He was cocky, he was arrogant, he put his name on everything, he made a lot of money, and he was unapologetic about it. People loved that about Donald Trump. Nothing has changed. The only thing is he's in politics now. That's all. Coffee said Biden's health is deteriorating. Yeah, I mean, it looks like that. I want to see what he's going to do if they make him do the debates. How is he going to survive a debate? That's what I want to know about Joe Biden. I don't see how he survives a debate. Somebody said might as well vote for Kanye. Well, Kanye ain't doing nothing. Kanye ain't making nothing happen. Coffee said I was excited for Andrew Yang. I heard Yang was pretty good. I didn't see the debate that he was involved in. The problem was what I heard is that he didn't play the debate game very well, so he wasn't going to win. There's a lot of stuff you got to do to be successful in politics. Hooplau D says, there a correlation between the popularity contest in politics and building a successful startup company? Not necessarily a startup, because a startup don't even have to have a person on it. But like Twitter was a startup. But if you're talking about a personal brand, yeah, a personal brand, you gotta have some kind of audience. You gotta have some fans. And you gotta be 50 million. You can have 50 fans and make money depending on what you're selling and how much you're selling it for. Coffee said, do you think social media uses Trump as a scapegoat for most of the problems going on in America? No. I don't think social media talks about most of the problems going on in America. They talk about a few problems going on in America, and then they use certain instances as scapegoats. Most of the problems going on in America don't even get talked about at all. Coffee says, sounds like cancel culture. Cancel culture was created by the left / the woke side of things, not by Trump. Trump didn't cancel nobody. People have been trying to cancel Trump. Hoop says, forget everyone who isn't on board with you. Exactly. That was something that I said Trump does as well. Trump does not pay attention to the people who don't like him, unless he's bashing them in order to stir up his own base. That's what he does. Coffee says, China Trump? I don't know what that means. Kingley says, I agree, he will win again. Jim Crow Joe just ain't it. People come up with these nicknames now. And then Trump started that, the nickname stuff. Cop Mala. I haven't heard those ones before, but okay. Mozart said, I need to stop all this politics and get with the work on your game. Well, politics will never go away. We just got to learn how to play the game. King said, Kamala just now identified as black to pander. She was identified as Asian and Indian before all this election stuff. I heard about that. But the average person doesn't care about that. They're just going to see what she looks like, says, all right, she's black, so they're going to go with her. Coffee said, Dre got a red bandana, so voting for Trump is confirmed. I got a black hat, though, so what does that mean? Black hat, red bandana. Which one is it? Bogoja says, what if there was an economic recession? There was. Right before Obama won, there was an economic recession. Raymond was good. Kingley says, Rick Ross shout out Trump and his song Pirates. Oh, every rapper done shout out Trump. Before he got into politics, every rapper shout out Trump. Jay-Z shouted him out. Every rapper shout out Donald Trump. Any rapper between 1995 and 2010 shouted out Donald Trump. That's a fact. Any of y'all who's old enough to remember, you know. Sports Lover says, what do you think about Trump being involved in that scandal with Epstein? I don't know that much about it. A lot of names have been dropped in it, but nothing has actually been proven. It's just association. Says, what do you think most people in the world, do I think most people in the world are too sensitive since you can't say shit nowadays at all? Well, you can say it. People are just afraid to say it. People are sensitive, but listen, I'm talking about why Donald Trump's going to win the election. And I know some people don't like that, but hey, I say whatever the fuck I want. You just got to have the balls to say it. Like Donald Trump. Donald Trump won because he got the balls to say that. So over on Facebook, Troy said, what? That dude, you don't enough balls to condemn was tweeting white power videos 2 weeks ago. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about, Troy? Please give more context to what you're saying. Troy said, you sound like a Trumper. Well, first of all, Troy, let's be clear about something. Number one, I said at the beginning of this live stream that I'm not on any side of this. I said that actually 5 times in this. I'm not on either side of it. Number two, I'm explaining why I believe Trump's going to win. Not that I want him to win or that I even care if he wins. I already made clear I might not even vote because I don't like either one of these candidates. And I don't care who the president is anyway. Even when Obama was president, he didn't do nothing for me. Gas was fucking $3.50 a gallon when Obama was president. So he ain't helped me. So all that being said, Troy, if you have some context of what you're saying, go ahead and say it. And even if I was a Trump or Troy, you on my motherfucking page. I can be whoever the fuck I want to be. And if you don't like it, you can get the fuck out of here. So all that being said, if you got some context to your point, you can go ahead and add to it. But I can say whatever I want on my page. Remember where you at, Troy. All right, we ain't in your house, you in my house. Ambitious Journey Media says, how do you think the mail-in votes will affect the election? I have no idea. I've never been involved in an election that had mail-in votes, so we'll see. But I can't tell you anything about that. I don't know. Yeah, Jeezy had a song called Donald Trump. He had a whole song on one of his Trap or Die mixtapes called Donald Trump. Jay-Z he bought an apartment in Trump's building. Jay-Z owned an apartment in a Donald Trump building. He rapped about it. Bozier said, will the economic recession affect Donald Trump negatively? If it's happening right when the election happens, yeah, they'll use it. They'll throw that out there. This is just politics. That's just par for the course. Everybody does that. That's just normal politics. But Donald Trump is not the normal politician. So that's the problem, is that you can't use the normal stuff against Donald Trump because he doesn't play by the normal rule book. So the stuff that would work against a normal Republican candidate does not work against Trump because he doesn't play by the same game. And that's Joe Biden's problem. I don't think Joe Biden is equipped mentally to play a different type of game. Trump is like guerrilla warfare. You don't really know what he's going to do. Whereas when you're going against a normal, quote unquote, normal politician, a textbook politician, you pretty much know what's going to work and what's not. But against Trump, you have no idea. And Joe Biden, I don't think he's sharp enough in the mind, at least in his current state, to do anything about it. King Leak says, I've been doing the Dwayne Wade Hoop handbooks. Oh, that's what's up. Shout out to everybody doing the Dwayne Wade programs. Hoop says, Trump's marketing strategy was so powerful and different that others tried to mimic it afterwards and fell flat. Yeah, Trump's strategy is you got to have his personality. You can't just copy the book. So I think Biden tried to out-Trump when he made that statement. Maybe. I think what Biden was doing was, I think Biden knew where he was at. He knew he was on the Breakfast Club, which is as a young demographic, they know it's very black, and he knows that you can say certain things on the Breakfast Club that you're not going to say on MSNBC. So he said it because he thought he'd be able to say it and get away with it. And to some people, they said, hey, you know what? He's probably right. Maybe he's right that you do got to vote for Biden if you're black. But there were also some black people who are a little bit more, in my opinion, a little bit more thoughtful and nuanced, who said, no, we're not allowing a white man to tell us who we supposed to vote. I can't let a white man tell us how black we are. So I think that was a misstep by Joe Biden, in my opinion. But hey, maybe there's some black people who heard that and said, yeah, he's right. But again, this is my show, so that's how I feel about it. Coffee says, what type will die down first, the fighting against oppression or the pandemic? Well, I don't think the pandemic is hype. I think the pandemic's a real thing. I mean, ask somebody who went out of business in the last 3 months if the pandemic is hype. I don't think it's hype. And BLM, I don't think BLM is hype. I think I don't even know what to call it. It's something. I wouldn't call it hype. Hype is just like people get excited for a minute, then forget about it. I don't think that's what this is. It's something else. I don't know what word to give it, but I wouldn't call it hype. Hype is a little bit watering it down. Sports Lover said, now you see me mad at him. I'm not mad at him. I'm just communicating to him that's just my style of communication. Sometimes in life, I did a master class on this. Sometimes in life, you got to speak to people in their language so that they understand you. Certain language that I speak when I'm at a corporate speaking event, and a certain language that I speak when I'm speaking to somebody standing on the corner, and a certain language I got to speak when I'm talking to a commentator on the internet. It's just language. It's just different dialects. That's the way that I was. Different dialects. I can speak a lot of different languages, all within English. Mozart says, that's a Dre energy I like. King Lee says, Biden team always got to play damage control for always saying something out of pocket. Well, I mean, Trump says things that would be quote unquote out of pocket all the time, but he gets away with it. So it might work. Biden might win anyway, despite all of these things that he's saying. All right, Troy, you ain't got nothing else to say, man. You ain't got no context to this. I thought you were going to add some context. I'm giving you the floor to actually give me some context to what you're saying. But now, since you don't have any, now you got to get blocked. All right, so Troy just got blocked. I gave him the floor. I gave him an opportunity to respond to what he was saying. He didn't have nothing else. He didn't have no substance to add to what he said. I gave him an opportunity. Y'all saw that. All y'all on Facebook, y'all saw that comment. But anyway, let's see what else we got. I'll take a few more questions. Ambitious Journey Media says, thoughts on Biden saying, unlike the African-American community with notable exceptions, the Latin community is incredibly diverse community with incredibly diverse attitudes. Yeah, I heard him say that. I saw that statement, and it was taken out of context. That's one of the things that they do now with all media. Like if I was way more famous and somebody wanted to attack me, they could take any little clip out of what I said over the last, 40 minutes and make it sound like I'm saying one thing when I wasn't saying that at all. They just take it out of context. So that statement was taken out of context. I don't know what he said before that. I don't know what he said after that. But again, in the media these days, it doesn't even matter. Like, as they say, if they don't have a story, they'll make one. As far as the African-American community, I think for the most part, African-Americans have usually voted Democrat. That's not a lie. He's not lying when he says that. It is kind of a slap in the face to a thinking individual. A black person who can think, who hears that, is like, damn, he's kind of telling the truth, but you also feel like an asshole because you're like, damn, I have been voting Democrat. I'll tell you something my parents told me. In the 90s, this is when I was way too young to vote. The news was on, they were talking Republicans, Democrats. I said to my mom, Mom, are we Republicans or Democrats? And she said, we're Democrats. And I said, why? And she said, because Republicans only work for the rich people. I said, oh, okay. So I guess that told me a lot about who we were supposed to be at that time. But that is exactly what she said. She was not joking. And that was how black people thought for a long time. And that was supplied by a lot of black leaders, the Al Sharptons, the Jesse Jacksons. They were all into this Democratic thing. And there's a whole lot of, y'all would have to read, there's books about this stuff that y'all would have to read. I can't explain all this stuff to you, but y'all would have to go on, I guess y'all suggest y'all start on YouTube. There are plenty of blacks who are more conservatively leaning. I don't know if they're conservatives, but they lean conservative and they question a lot of the stuff that black people have consistently championed as to why does this even make sense. Thomas Sowell was one person I would have you start with because he's not trying to be excitable. He's not trying to give you sound bites. He's not trying to slam dunk anybody in back and forth on the internet, but he has very cogent arguments. He's got like 15 books and he has a whole lot of videos that's like an hour long on YouTube that if you just listen to him talk, and he doesn't try to give you sound bites. He gives you the full arguments and they make perfect sense. He uses very plain English. His name is Thomas Sowell, Sowell. I would suggest y'all look him up. And again, he doesn't say, vote for this guy, vote for that guy. It doesn't seem like a Trump fan either, but listen to the things he says. He had a lot of criticisms for Obama, but he backed him up with actual data. It's not just, well, I don't like Obama and it'd be some like surface level thing. He had real stuff to say. So anyway, Harry said, Mother said, Troy needs to work on his response game. Well, Troy's gone. We will never see Troy again. Harry said, if Trump wins again, I'll buy all your books. All right, I'll send you an invoice. All right, King Lee says black people were Republicans before MLK was. That's true. I mean, a lot of people don't know the Republican Party are the ones who ended slavery. It wasn't the Democrats, it was the Republicans. Coffee, you got it right. Mozart said, do your parents still feel that way? Probably. I mean, my parents are old. My parents are stuck in their ways. My parents are old. All right, and I don't mean old by how the number on their number of candles on their cake. I mean by the way that they think. You become old by your thoughts, not by your age. You could be 80 years old and be a very flexible thinker. Thomas Sowell, the guy I just mentioned, he's like 89, 90 years old, and the dude still like writes books and stuff. I don't think when my parents are 90 years old, they're like in their 60s right now, they might be watching this. My parents are more stuck in their ways type of individuals. I've actually heard them use that saying. My parents have said to me, I'm stuck in my ways. Not me. They said that to me, that they're stuck in their ways. So they are old. So whatever way they were thinking in the 90s, they probably still think now, and that was 30 years ago. Some people are just like that. People are who they are. Do I support Trump? No. I don't support Biden either. I voted for Obama, but that's the last candidate. He was the first and last candidate that I've ever been excited about, and I was excited about Obama because he was black. Straight up and down. That's why I voted for Obama. I can't name not one Obama policy. I voted for him because he was black. Mozart said, why did rappers stop messing with Trump? Because he was saying things that sounded like he was dog whistling racist white people. And rappers, a lot of them have a whole lot of black fans who are surface level thinkers. So when they heard that about Trump, they're like, all right, Trump's bad for black people. So a rapper said, all right, if I say Trump is good, then black people are going to stop liking me and stop buying my records. I'm going to stop making money. So they had to go against Trump, except Kanye West. And Kanye's kind of popular enough, but Kanye's whole brand is that he'll just go off kilter every now and then, just say stuff that people think doesn't make sense. And then he'll come back, then he'll do it again, then he'll come back, then he'll do it. That's his brand, so he can get away with it. Whereas, let's say if Jay-Z supported Trump, he couldn't get away with that because his brand is not that he's like, people think Kanye is crazy, right? So when he says something crazy, we can laugh at it. But most rappers don't have a brand of being crazy, so they can't just say random stuff and get away with it. Kanye can get away with that. Everybody else cannot. All right, I'm going to take a couple more questions. I don't know how much time we got left here. I'm going to take like 5 more questions. Anybody got a question, post it right now, and then we wrapping this up. Wet like water. Says my dad once said under Obama, we had to pay taxes for people who were too lazy to put the work in. Do I believe in that? We still doing that. That's what socialism is. That's what Bernie Sanders wanted to do. Socialism is taking everybody's stuff and redistributing it towards redistributing it evenly. Capitalism is not exactly the opposite. Don't get me into trying to explain this. I know some of y'all might know it better than me. Capitalism is you eat what you kill. And if you don't kill nothing, you starve to death. That's what capitalism is about. And if you are a serious capitalist, you care somewhat about politics, but you know as long as you do your thing and you produce, you're going to eat. But they do take more taxes. Obama wanted to tax the rich because he was supposedly for the people, but a lot of the people said Obama didn't do shit for them. So you can read up on those people who have that to say. Again, I don't really have an opinion on Obama, the president. I voted for him because he represented that a black person could be president, and that's why I supported it. Now, both of these dudes is old and white. I don't care which one of them wins. But it will be interesting to watch, and I will comment on it. I don't care who wins, but I will comment on it because it is very interesting. And everybody's talking about it, so I might as well ride that wave. Brandon said, I'm shocked you shared that. Never thought I would hear. Shared what? What part of it? Mozart said, you got to do a live when Trump wins on election night. Oh, yeah, I might go live on election night. I might go live on election night. I might have to stay up late that night, November 3rd. I usually go to bed early, but I might stay up late that night. Do I think Trump has been better financially for the minority communities than Obama? That's a good question. I don't think either one of them did anything for minority communities. And the minority community is a lot of people. Let's be clear. Minority community is, I don't know the exact number of people, but they say that blacks are 13% of the population. That's millions of people. So we can't say everybody. I mean, you got people like Jay-Z who's worth allegedly a billionaire. You got black people who are broke, who ain't got nothing, who are on welfare. So what is the president supposed to do? The government, ladies and gentlemen, is designed to help people who cannot help themselves. So all y'all who got data and Wi-Fi and iPhones, the government is not designed to help you, all right, because you can help yourself. If you got time to be watching an Instagram live on a Sunday night, the government is not designed for you. The government is designed for broke people who ain't got nothing, living in shelters, getting no welfare and government cheese and shit like that. That's who the government is for. The government is not for us. All right, it's not for us. It will take from you if you got a lot, and it will give to you if you ain't got shit. And if you in the middle, you kind of squeezed. All right, is the middle class squeeze. I think Grant Cardone was talking about that. The squeeze on the middle class. So if you're in the middle, all right, get to the top or go to the bottom. Pick one. All right, either become poor or become rich. All right, but don't stay in the middle. The government is not designed to help the person who can do for self. If you can do for self, do as much as you can for yourself through helping other people. All right, that way you're helping others, you're doing it ethically, you make money and you get whatever you want because you're giving to other people, and then you can live the way that you want to live so that the government, well, they're going to tax you. They're going to take your money. You're going to pay that tax. So you might as well move to a state with no income tax like Florida, where I'm at, or Texas. Don't live in California. California will tax the shit out you. At least so I've heard. Anyway, ARB was good. How are people still broke in 2020? The internet is a gold mine. Well, it's crowded on the internet. It's hard. It's hard out here still. You still got to hustle, and you got to get attention on the internet. There's a lot of people on the internet. So just because you're on it doesn't mean anything's going to work out. So anyway, I think we said enough on this topic for one night. I will talk about this more as things go on. I am not a political commentator. This conversation is not really about politics. You notice I'm not really talking about policies or none of that. I'm just talking about what I see, and I'm explaining this in terms of the stuff that I already talk about. How to get people excited about you, how to build a brand, how to create an audience, how to compel people to action. That's what I'm talking about here. Donald Trump knows how to do these things. That's why he won the presidency the first time. That's why, as things stand right now, I believe he will win it again. If he doesn't win, something has to change on the other side of his opponent, or he got to do something that is going to make him look bad, or something got to happen in the world that just makes him look bad by default because he's quote unquote in charge. So we'll see what happens over the next 10 weeks. It's only 10 weeks till the election. So if you're going to vote, vote. If you're going to vote, you're just going to vote already. If you're not going to vote, nothing I say is going to make you vote. All right, LeBron James ain't going to make you vote. All right. The NBA kneeling ain't going to make you vote. Now, you're going to do what you want to do. If you're not excited about Biden, you ain't getting up to go vote on no election day for no goddamn Joe Biden. All right. If you get a day off from work, you taking a day off from work. You ain't going to vote. But anyway, that's what it is. Everybody, I will talk about this again more in the future. I do these lives every single day. I'm doing them every day now, again, just in case y'all didn't know. So stay tuned. I don't know what I'm going to talk about each day. I didn't know I was going to talk about this until I sat down. So every day I decide right there on the spot. Y'all know what it is. If any of y'all see Troy out there, I'll tell him to get his fucking weight up. And next time he come in here, have something to say of substance. Everybody have a good night. Work on your game. We out of here.